gentlemen, please welcome Lucy Boynton.
I'm Lucy Boynton, and you're watching France 24.
She's been named the rising star at this year's Deauville American Film Festival on the Normandy coast. British-American actress Lucy Boynton is best known for Bohemian Rhapsody, Sing Street, and Murder on the Orient Express. Lucy Boynton, hello.
Hi.
Congratulations on receiving the Hollywood Rising Star Award.
Thank you so much.
Now, last time you were in Deauville was for Sing Street in 2016. How does it feel to be back receiving such recognition?
Yeah, I'm still wrapping my head around it. I mean, it feels so great to be back. The last time I was here, it was the first time I was presenting a film on my own, and Sing Street has been such a special one in my life and in my career. So I already have that foundation of really lovely association to Deauville Film Festival. So it was exciting to come back, but also terrifying.
Deauville is a celebration of American film. You were born in New York, but you have a very English accent.
Yep.
Tell us about your links with the two countries.
I think I just feel really lucky to have any sense of like home in America, because I think New York and LA, where I spend most of my time when I am there, can feel quite intimidating. And so I love that there is that sense of comfort there as well. And especially within my industry, I think, you know, American cinema is classic old Hollywood, is the kind of the scale of cinema and what it used to be and what it can be. So to have, and then British television as well. And then of course, with this film festival, to have the link with French cinema as well. It's kind of crossing all, I don't know, checking all the best stuff.
You were at the screening of the opening film last night called Call Jane. It tackles the subject of abortion in the United States. Now, on social media, you've posted about your outrage about the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Has it changed the way you feel about America and life there?
I don't know, I think it's just a continual education, because I think the feeling of when Trump wasn't re-elected, there was this like hope that it would revert back to something, and then that's not true because you realize that thing was always there. So I think it's been a good, you know, constructive education is how I'm trying to see it. But with something like this, I mean, it doesn't even reflect the American people, because it's not a democratic body that are making decisions like this. So I think that's really difficult to make peace with. And so in that sense, I suppose I still feel like I'm trying to understand America when it's not, like I said, when it's not the kind of democratic voice of the people actually being conveyed here.
And both of your parents are British journalists, and you've spoken also about supporting Black Lives Matter, racial equality and transgender rights. Why do you think it's important to use your platform to talk about these issues?
With me, I mean, even when it was just like me and my friends following each other on Instagram, I would still post what felt organic to me. I mean, I earnestly feel the things that I post, so I think it just feels true, and that's my personal platform, so it feels organic. And I think when you do have people kind of tuning into that, it is important, I think, to utilize that, and especially when it's a case of human rights, as is everything that I've posted about, it seems kind of, I don't know, the only way. And also to encourage more conversation rather than pretending you know any definitive thing. It's more of a expressing I feel.
One of your next roles is a very French one. In Chevalier,
Yes.
You play the last Queen of France, Marie Antoinette, before the French Revolution. What can you tell us about that?
That's a really exciting film. It's directed by Stephen Williams, and Kelvin Harrison Jr. is the lead, playing Joseph Bologna, who is a contemporary of Mozart's, but has been kind of erased from the history books. So it was an absolute education on him and a kind of re-education on Marie Antoinette, because I think I went in with a preconceived idea that we've all adopted because of this like villainization of her throughout history in a way that I think is specifically reserved for women. And so it was really interesting to read about her, and it's difficult because with this film specifically, we are investigating the more villainous side of her and her, I mean, Stephen and I talked a lot about convenient allyship and the role that that plays in the film, and she is very much the embodiment of that in this movie. But it's a film that I'm incredibly proud to be a part of, and I can't wait for people to see it.
And you got your first role when you were 11.
Yeah.
Playing a young Beatrix Potter in Miss Potter. Do you still remember that time? What do you remember about it?
Yeah, vividly. I think I got really lucky that that was my introduction to this industry, because it was such a romantic, enchanting one, and I grew up reading Beatrix Potter books, so it was all very familiar territory. But the environment on set that Chris Noonan, our director, created was so magical and just beautiful and warm and nurturing. So that being my first kind of insight into this world, there was definitely no turning back.
And you most recently played in the highest grossing musical biopic of all time, Bohemian Rhapsody. It won 4 Oscars. And the biopic of Marilyn Monroe's life will play here in Deauville. Why do you think biopics often become career-defining moments for actors?
That's such an interesting question. I think we're always fascinated by these people who existed in a time before social media and everything. So there's so much mystery that surrounds them, especially Marilyn Monroe. So I think we continue to want to be let in. And again with Freddie, where he's such an extraordinary human being that we just want more of him and want to know more. And also it's an opportunity for audiences to feel closer to that person, that entity, because of this new representation of them. It takes you that one step closer to him from his music, and I'm sure the same with Marilyn.
Marilyn Monroe's personal life has become legendary. More than 70 years on, though, we're still obsessed with who women are dating. Why do you think?
I think that's interesting, and I think we're having to kind of re-examine the way that we, examine women in the public eye and in every kind of public arena. And I think the fact that we are looking at films like the Marilyn Monroe biopic and hopefully re-examining the way that women like that were treated and kind of had a storyline prescribed to them rather than listening to them. I hope that we're learning from that, and I hope we check ourselves in the way that our line of questioning for women and men becomes slightly more even-keeled.
Do you feel like it's a better industry for you now?
I'm very aware that, especially since the Me Too movement, but everything that came before, all of these women who have had to stand up for the first time, I'm very aware that my generation is coming post that, and so we have a much safer experience on set and an opportunity to be equally collaborative, and hopefully that continues to increase and becomes even more of an equal opportunity field. I mean, kind of in every single industry, obviously, but just speaking to my own, I'm aware of the women who are catalysts, and I hope to continue to contribute to that.
And you've worked with a lot of talent over the years, such as Judi Dench and Kenneth Branagh in Murder on the Orient Express, Gwyneth Paltrow in the series The Politician. Tell us about one of your favourite filming experiences. I'm sure there are many, but tell us about one.
Orient Express was such a special experience because working with Ken, who obviously is an actor as well, so he has such a specific way of communicating his direction with all the other actors, and because of his background in theatre as well, it really felt much more like a theatre troupe, and there was such a rich process of preparation that I think you don't actually usually get in film so much, in the way that you would rehearse and prep for a play. That doesn't happen so much in film and television, so I was really grateful to get that insight, and I think I've tried to apply that to my jobs going forward since then.
And what can you tell us about your upcoming horror series, The Pale Blue Eyes, with Gillian Anderson and Christian Bale?
That was an incredible experience to film. That was at the beginning of this year, and it'll come out the end of this year. And it's on Netflix January 6th. And again, Scott Cooper has a background in acting, so the way he would deliver direction was so specific and intimate and empathetic. And the same with Christian Bale. He was a really great leader to have on set. And in that environment, when the emotional climax of the film is very kind of intense, to have those leaders checking in with everyone, cast and crew, and making sure it's still a very collaborative, conducive environment was a great lesson. And then, when you get to watch people like Gillian Anderson at work, it's pretty phenomenal.
Okay, Lucy Boynton, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.